This is the most diabolical thing ever happened in the history of the monarchy.
Something about the atmosphere surrounding Buckingham Palace has changed, and while official statements continue to emphasize stability, a growing number of royal watchers believe a far more complicated story may be unfolding behind the scenes. Questions surrounding King Charles III, the future of Prince William, and the position of Queen Camilla have created a level of speculation that the modern monarchy rarely experiences. But if recent developments are telling us anything, it may be that the real story has only just begun. For years, the British royal family has carefully projected continuity, duty, and order. Yet according to a dramatic narrative circulating among commentators and online discussions, concerns surrounding King Charles III's health have allegedly triggered conversations about the future leadership of the monarchy far sooner than many expected. While such claims remain unverified and should be treated as speculation rather than established fact, the discussion itself has raised a fascinating question. What happens when the institution's desire for stability collides with the personal ambitions, loyalties, and fears of those closest to the throne? As reports and rumors continued to spread, attention increasingly shifted toward Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Following Catherine's highly publicized health challenges and subsequent return to public duties, many observers viewed Prince William and Kate Middleton as symbols of resilience during a difficult period for the royal family. Public appearances seemed to reinforce that perception, and for many supporters of the monarchy, the Prince and Princess of Wales appeared positioned to guide the institution into its next chapter. But according to the story now captivating royal audiences, not everyone within palace circles was comfortable with the speed of that transition. The narrative suggests that senior advisors had begun privately discussing ways to increase Prince William's responsibilities as concerns surrounding King Charles III continued to dominate headlines. Whether such discussions ever occurred remains unclear, but the mere possibility has fueled endless debate among royal commentators. If the monarchy faced an unexpected challenge, would Prince William be ready to step forward sooner than anticipated? And perhaps even more importantly, would everyone within the royal household welcome that possibility? That is where Queen Camilla enters the story. For decades, Queen Camilla endured public scrutiny unlike almost any other figure connected to the monarchy. The path from controversial public figure to queen consort was neither simple nor universally accepted. As a result, some royal observers argue that Queen Camilla understands better than most how quickly influence can disappear once public attention moves elsewhere. Could that history help explain why some commentators believe Queen Camilla might resist any accelerated transfer of authority? Or is that interpretation itself unfair to a woman who has spent years supporting King Charles III throughout one of the most challenging periods in modern royal history? Those questions became even more intriguing as a series of increasingly critical stories allegedly began appearing across various media platforms. Commentary questioning Prince William's readiness for leadership started attracting attention. Discussions surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her recovery generated additional headlines. Individually, none of these stories appeared extraordinary. Together, however, they created a pattern that some royal watchers found difficult to ignore. Was this merely the natural cycle of media scrutiny that every future monarch faces? Or was something more deliberate taking shape beneath the surface? According to the narrative gaining traction among certain observers, Prince William gradually became convinced that the criticism was not entirely organic. Similar language appeared across multiple reports. References to private matters seemed unusually detailed. Certain discussions appeared remarkably coordinated despite originating from different sources. Whether those observations reflected reality or coincidence remains impossible to verify. Nevertheless, the perception itself reportedly created growing concern among those closest to the Prince of Wales. Imagine the pressure facing Prince William during such a moment. On one side stood the enormous responsibility of preparing for a future reign. On another stood concerns surrounding King Charles III. At the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was continuing her own recovery journey while remaining one of the monarchy's most popular figures. Under those circumstances, even minor criticism could carry enormous emotional and political consequences. And yet the most intriguing development may not have involved Prince William at all. Instead, attention allegedly shifted toward one royal figure whose reputation has always been built upon duty, discipline, and unwavering loyalty to the crown. Princess Anne. Among all members of the royal family, Princess Anne has often been regarded as one of the institution's most dependable and respected figures. Rarely drawn into controversy and consistently focused on public service, Princess Anne occupies a unique position within royal life. That is precisely why reports of Princess Anne becoming involved in this alleged dispute immediately captured attention. What exactly had Princess Anne learned? Why were some commentators suddenly describing Princess Anne as a crucial player in an emerging palace struggle? And if concerns truly existed behind closed doors, what evidence could possibly be significant enough to alter the future direction of the monarchy itself? Those questions would soon move to the center of the story, because according to growing speculation, Princess Anne was preparing to step into a situation far more explosive than anyone outside palace walls could have imagined. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the developments surrounding Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Queen Camilla, and King Charles III become even more dramatic from this point forward. And what Princess Anne allegedly discovered next would completely change the conversation surrounding the future of the royal family. As whispers continue to circulate through royal circles, the situation surrounding Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Queen Camilla allegedly entered a far more dangerous phase. Until this point, the discussion had largely revolved around influence, succession, and competing visions for the future of the monarchy. But according to the narrative that was now spreading among royal observers, the battle was no longer being fought behind conference tables or private consultations. The battlefield had shifted into something far more powerful in the modern age: public perception. Almost overnight, a noticeable change appeared in the media conversation surrounding the Prince and Princess of Wales. Publications that had previously praised Prince William's preparation for kingship suddenly began publishing stories questioning whether Prince William possessed enough experience to lead the monarchy through an increasingly uncertain future. At the same time, renewed attention focused on Catherine, Princess of Wales, with commentators revisiting concerns about health, stamina, and the enormous demands attached to royal duties. Individually, none of these articles appeared extraordinary. Public figures are scrutinized constantly, and members of the royal family are certainly no exception. Yet some royal watchers began noticing similarities that seemed difficult to dismiss. Why were multiple outlets suddenly discussing the same concerns at nearly the same moment? Why did separate reports appear to rely upon remarkably similar language? And perhaps most importantly, who stood to benefit if public confidence in Prince William and Kate Middleton began to weaken? Those questions reportedly became impossible for Prince William to ignore. According to accounts circulating among commentators, Prince William, the future king, spent days reviewing coverage that appeared increasingly coordinated. Rather than reacting emotionally, Prince William allegedly chose a more measured approach. Prince William understood that accusations without evidence could easily backfire, particularly within an institution where discretion and patience have always been valued above impulsive action. Yet something continued to trouble Prince William. Several reports allegedly contained references to private schedules, internal discussions, and sensitive details that should never have reached journalists. Information from closed meetings appeared in stories with surprising accuracy. Medical references connected to Catherine, Princess of Wales, seemed unusually specific. Internal terminology, known primarily within royal circles, reportedly appeared across multiple publications. Was this simply coincidence? Or was somebody with privileged access quietly feeding information into the public arena? The possibility raised a disturbing question that extended far beyond palace politics. If confidential information was truly finding its way into media narratives, then the issue was no longer merely about reputation. The issue was trust itself. And when trust begins to erode inside an institution built upon loyalty, the consequences can become impossible to predict. As concern intensified, the narrative suggests that Prince William turned toward one of the most respected figures within the royal family. Princess Anne had spent decades earning a reputation for discipline, discretion, and unwavering commitment to duty. Unlike many royal figures who regularly dominated headlines, Princess and build authority through consistency rather than publicity. That distinction mattered, because if Princess and was willing to become involved, then observers believed the concerns must have been far more serious than outsiders realized. According to the story, Princess and listened carefully as Prince William outlined growing suspicions surrounding the coordinated criticism targeting both Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Rather than dismissing those concerns, Princess and allegedly recognized patterns that demanded closer examination. Years spent navigating the complexities of royal life had taught Princess and that major institutional crises rarely begin with dramatic confrontations. More often, such crises begin with subtle shifts that most people overlook until it is too late. Could Princess and already see something that others could not? Could Princess and have recognized warning signs hidden beneath the surface long before the broader public became aware of them? Those questions would soon become central to the unfolding mystery. According to reports attached to this narrative, a quiet investigation allegedly began taking shape behind palace walls. No public announcements were made. No accusations were issued. Instead, trusted individuals reportedly started examining communication records, financial patterns, and media connections that might explain how sensitive information repeatedly found its way into public discussion. What they allegedly discovered only deepened the mystery. Rather than finding isolated leaks, the investigation reportedly uncovered indications of a much broader network operating through intermediaries, consultants, and individuals connected to influential media circles. Once again, these claims remain unverified and should be treated as part of a circulating narrative rather than established fact. Nevertheless, within the story itself, every new discovery appeared to point toward a coordinated effort rather than random coincidence. Meanwhile, the atmosphere surrounding Buckingham Palace allegedly grew increasingly tense. Senior advisors remained focused on stability as concerns surrounding King Charles III continued to dominate conversations. Discussions about future leadership became more urgent. Every public appearance by Prince William attracted greater scrutiny. Every appearance by Catherine, Princess of Wales, became a subject of analysis. Every move made by Queen Camilla generated fresh speculation. The monarchy appeared united from the outside. Inside the story, however, invisible fault lines were beginning to widen. Then came what many observers describe as the turning point. According to the narrative, investigators working alongside Princess and reportedly uncovered financial activity connected to individuals operating within Queen Camilla's wider circle. The alleged records did not immediately provide definitive answers, but they raised enough questions to justify further examination. As additional information emerged, suspicion reportedly shifted toward the possibility that the media campaign targeting Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, might not have been spontaneous after all. Imagine discovering evidence suggesting that criticism directed toward the future king and future queen had been deliberately encouraged rather than naturally generated. Imagine realizing that a struggle over influence might be affecting public confidence in the very institution meant to symbolize national continuity. Would such revelations change how the royal family viewed the situation? And if those suspicions proved accurate, how would Queen Camilla respond once the investigation moved closer to the truth? The answers allegedly arrived through a breakthrough that nobody expected. Late one evening, according to the story, information connected to communications between media representatives and individuals associated with Queen Camilla's network reportedly surfaced. The material allegedly included timelines, strategic discussions, and references to stories targeting Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. For those examining the evidence, the implications appeared staggering. Suddenly, what had once looked like scattered criticism began resembling something far more organized. For Prince William, the realization reportedly transformed the situation entirely. The issue was no longer personal frustration. The issue had become protection of the monarchy's credibility during one of the most sensitive periods in recent royal history. Yet the most dramatic confrontation had not happened. Not even close. Because while Princess and was quietly assembling what supporters described as a devastating collection of evidence, Queen Camilla reportedly remained determined to resist any effort that could accelerate Prince William's rise to greater authority. And according to the narrative, both sides were now moving toward a collision that could no longer be avoided. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts below. Do you believe Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, were genuinely facing a coordinated effort to undermine public confidence? Or do you think the growing speculation says more about public fascination with royal intrigue than it does about reality? Let us know in the comments, because the next stage of this story brings Princess and Queen Camilla, Prince William, and King Charles III directly into a confrontation that allegedly left an entire room stunned into silence. The deeper Princess, and allegedly pushed into the investigation, the more the atmosphere surrounding Buckingham Palace seemed to transform from uneasy uncertainty into something that resembled a silent countdown. According to the narrative circulating among royal commentators, what began as suspicions regarding media coordination was now evolving into a potential institutional crisis, one that threatened to place Queen Camilla, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and even the future of the monarchy on a collision course. Yet the most remarkable aspect of this story was not the alleged evidence itself. The most remarkable aspect was timing. As discussions intensified regarding King Charles III's declining condition and the possibility of granting Prince William expanded authority, every passing day allegedly increased the urgency felt by senior figures inside the royal household. Decisions that might once have been postponed for months suddenly carried consequences measured in days rather than years. And that raises an important question. If somebody truly wanted to influence the succession conversation, would there ever be a more critical moment than this one? According to the narrative, Princess and understood that whatever evidence had been collected would mean very little unless the information could withstand scrutiny from the monarchy's most senior advisors. Rumors alone would never be enough. Palace politics had survived rumors for centuries. What Princess and allegedly needed was something stronger, something capable of changing minds inside rooms where loyalty and reputation mattered as much as facts themselves. That search reportedly led investigators toward a series of communications that appeared to connect media narratives, financial activity, and individuals operating within Queen Camilla's wider circle. Once again, these claims remain part of a story being discussed online and should not be treated as verified events. Nevertheless, within the narrative itself, the discoveries were described as increasingly difficult to dismiss. Imagine being Prince William at that moment. Imagine watching criticism aimed at Catherine, Princess of Wales, spread across newspapers and social media, while simultaneously receiving reports suggesting that some of those attacks may have originated much closer to home than anyone expected. Would Prince William react emotionally? Would Prince William immediately confront Queen Camilla? Or would Prince William understand that one wrong move could trigger a public disaster capable of damaging the royal family itself? According to the story, Prince William chose patience. Rather than launching accusations, Prince William allegedly focused on gathering information while Princess and continued coordinating efforts behind the scenes. That decision would prove crucial because the investigation was reportedly about to uncover something far more explosive than negative headlines. The breakthrough allegedly arrived through records connected to a prominent London communications operation. Within the narrative, investigators reportedly gained access to documents outlining relationships between media figures and individuals connected to Queen Camilla's network. Phone logs, strategic discussions, release schedules, and financial transfers supposedly began forming a picture that appeared increasingly organized rather than accidental. For Princess, and the implications were enormous. For Prince William, the implications were deeply personal. And for Queen Camilla, if the allegations were true, the implications could be catastrophic. But before anyone could act, another development suddenly accelerated the crisis. According to the story, King Charles III experienced a significant deterioration in health that forced advisors to confront questions they had hoped to avoid. Concerns regarding continuity of leadership reportedly became impossible to ignore. Meetings multiplied, consultations intensified. Senior figures allegedly debated how best to preserve stability during a period of growing uncertainty. At the center of every discussion stood Prince William. The future king was no longer viewed simply as an heir waiting patiently for a distant future. Prince William was increasingly being viewed as the figure who might soon be required to shoulder responsibilities on behalf of the crown. Yet every conversation about Prince William inevitably led back to the same obstacle. Queen Camilla. According to the narrative, Queen Camilla remained determined to resist any arrangement that would significantly reduce King Charles III's role while simultaneously increasing Prince William's authority. Publicly, Queen Camilla's alleged position centered on stability and continuity. Supporters of Queen Camilla would likely argue that caution during a sensitive constitutional period was entirely reasonable. But critics inside the story saw something different. Critics allegedly believed Queen Camilla was fighting not for stability, but for relevance. Could both interpretations contain elements of truth? Could Queen Camilla genuinely believe that protecting King Charles III's position was necessary, while simultaneously fearing what Prince William's eventual rise would mean for Queen Camilla's own influence? Those competing interpretations would soon collide inside one of the most consequential meetings described in the entire narrative. According to reports attached to the story, an emergency council gathering was convened after concerns surrounding King Charles III reached a critical stage. Senior advisors, royal officials, and influential figures reportedly assembled to discuss immediate next steps regarding the monarchy's future direction. The atmosphere was said to be tense long before the meeting officially began. Every participant allegedly understood that decisions made inside that room could shape the next chapter of the British royal family. Queen Camilla reportedly arrived prepared to argue against any rapid transfer of authority. Prince William reportedly arrived prepared to listen. Princess, and reportedly arrived carrying something very different: evidence. As discussions unfolded, advisors allegedly debated whether Prince William should receive expanded powers to ensure continuity during King Charles III's illness. Queen Camilla reportedly challenged proposals she believed were premature. Arguments regarding public confidence, constitutional stability, and institutional continuity filled the room. For a brief moment, it appeared possible that Queen Camilla's delaying strategy might succeed. Then everything changed. According to the narrative, the doors opened and Princess entered carrying a black dossier that immediately captured the attention of everyone present. Think about that image for a moment. Princess, and one of the most respected members of the royal family, walking into a room filled with advisors while carrying documents that could potentially alter the balance of power inside the monarchy itself. What would you be thinking if you were sitting at that table? What information could possibly justify interrupting such a critical meeting? And why did observers later describe that moment as the instant when the entire conversation changed? According to the story, Princess placed the dossier before the assembly and began presenting material allegedly linking Queen Camilla's circle to the coordinated campaign targeting Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Financial records, communication logs, strategic timelines. The evidence reportedly painted a picture that left many participants stunned. The reaction inside the room was allegedly immediate. Expressions changed. Conversation stopped. Attention shifted away from constitutional questions and toward the allegations themselves. For Queen Camilla, the situation was rapidly becoming dangerous. For Prince William, the moment represented potential vindication. But the most dramatic part of the story had still not happened. Because according to the narrative, Princess possessed one final piece of information capable of turning an already explosive confrontation into something that nobody in the room could ignore. Before we reveal what happened next, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future royal updates. And tell us in the comments, if you were sitting in that council chamber, would you have trusted Princess's evidence immediately, or would you have demanded even stronger proof before making a decision that could affect the future of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Queen Camilla, and the monarchy itself? Because what emerged next was not merely another document or another accusation. According to the story, it was a message connected directly to King Charles III himself, and that message would completely transform the fate of everyone involved. The moment Princess placed that black dossier before the assembled council, the entire atmosphere inside the chamber allegedly changed. According to the narrative surrounding these events, discussions that had previously focused on succession planning, constitutional stability, and the future responsibilities of Prince William suddenly became secondary. Attention shifted toward a far more immediate question. If the allegations contained within Princess's evidence were true, What would that mean not only for Queen Camilla, but for the credibility of the monarchy itself? For several moments, according to accounts attached to the story, nobody spoke. The silence itself became part of the drama. Senior advisors who had spent decades navigating royal controversies reportedly found themselves staring at documents that appeared to describe a coordinated effort targeting Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, during one of the most sensitive periods in recent royal history. Financial records allegedly connected individuals within Queen Camilla's orbit to media operations. Communication logs reportedly suggested strategic planning rather than spontaneous criticism. Timelines appeared to show a pattern rather than coincidence. Yet even at that stage, a critical question remained unanswered. Would the council immediately accept Princess Anne's findings? Or would Queen Camilla find a way to challenge the allegations before permanent damage was done? According to the narrative, Queen Camilla responded exactly as an experienced survivor of royal controversy might be expected to respond. Queen Camilla reportedly remained composed despite the growing pressure inside the room. Rather than showing panic, Queen Camilla allegedly argued that the interpretation of the evidence was flawed. Connections did not automatically prove intent. Media engagement did not automatically prove manipulation. Strategic communication, Queen Camilla allegedly insisted, was a normal part of protecting the monarchy from damaging speculation. And for a brief moment, some observers believe that argument may have created uncertainty. After all, royal households constantly interact with media organizations. Public messaging has always been part of managing the institution. Distinguishing legitimate communication from coordinated influence campaigns is not always straightforward. Could Queen Camilla's explanation have been enough? Could the council have hesitated before reaching any conclusions? Those questions reportedly lingered in the room as advisors carefully examined the material presented by Princess Anne. But according to the story, Princess Anne was not finished. The Princess Royal, whose reputation for discipline and preparation had been earned over decades of service, allegedly understood that the evidence already presented might raise concerns, but not necessarily settle the matter. If Queen Camilla still had supporters within influential circles, then stronger proof would be required. That realization set the stage for what many commentators describe as the most dramatic moment in the entire narrative. Because Princess Anne allegedly revealed that another document had recently arrived from a location nobody in the room could ignore. King Charles III private office. Imagine the reaction inside that chamber. Imagine spending hours debating the future of the monarchy, only to discover that King Charles III himself had left behind instructions directly connected to the issue being discussed. Suddenly, every advisor reportedly understood that the conversation was no longer focused solely on Queen Camilla or Prince William. The conversation was now connected to the wishes of the king himself. What exactly did King Charles III say? Why would a single document carry enough weight to alter the balance of an already explosive meeting? And perhaps most importantly, did King Charles III anticipate that such a confrontation might eventually occur? According to the narrative, Princess Anne produced a sealed letter bearing authorization from King Charles III. The document had allegedly been prepared weeks earlier, while the monarch's health remained stable enough to handle official matters. As the contents were read aloud, the room reportedly fell into complete silence. Within the story, King Charles III expressed a clear desire for Prince William to begin preparing for greater responsibilities connected to the future leadership of the monarchy. King Charles III allegedly emphasized continuity, stability, and readiness. More significantly, King Charles III reportedly made it clear that Prince William should be positioned to act whenever circumstances required. If true, the message created an enormous problem for Queen Camilla. Because according to the narrative, Queen Camilla's resistance had largely centered on delaying that very transition. Suddenly, arguments about caution appeared less persuasive. Suddenly, delays appeared harder to justify. And suddenly, advisors who had remained uncertain reportedly found themselves confronting a new reality. How could Queen Camilla continue opposing a process that King Charles III himself had allegedly endorsed? The emotional impact of the moment reportedly spread throughout the room. For Prince William, the future king, the letter represented more than political support. According to the story, The message served as confirmation that King Charles III trusted Prince William to carry the monarchy forward during a period of uncertainty. For Catherine, Princess of Wales, whose resilience had become a symbol of perseverance for many royal supporters, the letter allegedly reinforced the idea that the future of the institution rested increasingly with the Prince and Princess of Wales. Yet the most fascinating aspect of the story may have involved Queen Camilla's reaction. According to accounts attached to the narrative, Queen Camilla allegedly recognized that the situation had shifted beyond recovery. The combination of Princess's evidence and King Charles III's written wishes reportedly left very little room for maneuvering. Advisors who had once listened carefully to Queen Camilla's concerns now appeared focused on ensuring a smooth path forward for Prince William. Imagine spending years building influence at the highest levels of the monarchy, only to watch support gradually disappear within a single afternoon. Would anyone react calmly under those circumstances? Would anyone willingly surrender influence without attempting one final defense? According to the story, Queen Camilla made one last effort to explain her actions. Queen Camilla allegedly argued that every decision had been motivated by concern for institutional stability. Queen Camilla reportedly insisted that testing Prince William's readiness and protecting King Charles III's legacy required difficult choices. Whether those explanations reflected genuine conviction or strategic self-preservation remains one of the central mysteries surrounding the narrative. And that question remains incredibly important. Was Queen Camilla motivated by ambition? Was Queen Camilla motivated by fear? Or was Queen Camilla motivated by a sincere belief that the monarchy needed more time before embracing a new era? Different viewers will likely reach very different conclusions. But according to the story, the council had already begun reaching its own. One by one, advisors reportedly shifted toward supporting Prince William's expanded role. The momentum that Queen Camilla had allegedly fought so hard to slow now appeared unstoppable. The future king stood closer than ever to assuming greater responsibility. Catherine, Princess of Wales, stood beside Prince William as a symbol of continuity. Princess, and emerged as the unexpected figure whose intervention had altered the direction of events. Yet despite everything that had already happened, the final chapter of the confrontation had not yet arrived. Because decisions made inside council chambers are one thing, public perception is something entirely different, and according to the narrative, the next phase would unfold in full view of the nation itself, where Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, would face the ultimate test of public support, while Queen Camilla confronted a future nobody had expected only weeks earlier. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for future royal stories. And tell us in the comments, if you had been sitting inside that council chamber, would King Charles III's alleged letter have completely changed your opinion, or would you still have wanted additional proof before supporting Prince William's rise to greater authority? Because what happened next would move beyond palace walls and into the public spotlight, where the future of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Queen Camilla, and the monarchy itself would be tested before the eyes of an entire nation. As word of the council's alleged decision began spreading through royal circles, attention rapidly shifted away from the closed doors of Buckingham Palace and toward something far more powerful than private influence, official titles, or palace strategy. Attention shifted toward the British public, because regardless of what may have happened inside meeting rooms, the ultimate test facing Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, was whether the nation itself would embrace the future that many believed was approaching. According to the narrative, the answer arrived sooner than anyone expected. On a cool London morning, crowds reportedly began gathering outside Buckingham Palace long before any official appearance had been announced. The atmosphere was described as part anticipation, part uncertainty, and part hope. Questions still lingered about King Charles III. Debates still surrounded Queen Camilla. Yet the faces that many people had come to see were Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. And perhaps that was the most revealing development of all. After months of speculation, criticism, and alleged attempts to weaken public confidence, had the conversation actually strengthened support for Prince William and Kate Middleton instead? When Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, allegedly emerged together, observers described a moment that instantly changed the tone of the entire story. Prince William appeared calm, composed, and increasingly comfortable carrying the weight of future leadership. Catherine, Princess of Wales appeared resilient and confident, projecting the same quiet determination that had earned admiration during previous personal challenges. The reaction from the crowd, according to the narrative, was immediate and overwhelming. Supporters cheered, flags waved, cameras flashed. The public response allegedly delivered a message more powerful than any council vote or palace memorandum. Whether justified or not, many people appeared ready to view Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as the monarchy's next chapter. But that moment raises an important question. Was public support always destined to return to Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales? Or did the alleged campaign against the couple unintentionally create even greater sympathy and loyalty among royal supporters? The answer may depend entirely on how viewers interpret the story. Meanwhile, according to the narrative, a very different atmosphere existed elsewhere within Buckingham Palace. While Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, stood before cheering supporters, Queen Camilla allegedly found herself confronting a reality that had once seemed impossible. Influence that had taken years to build appeared to be slipping away. Political allies reportedly became less visible. Strategic conversations allegedly moved forward without Queen Camilla at the center. For supporters of Queen Camilla, this version of events may seem deeply unfair. After all, Queen Camilla spent decades standing beside King Charles III through controversy, criticism, and extraordinary public scrutiny. For critics, however, the narrative suggests that Queen Camilla ultimately placed personal influence above institutional stability. And that is where the story becomes far more interesting than a simple battle between heroes and villains. Because real life is rarely that simple. Was Queen Camilla truly driven by ambition alone? Or was Queen Camilla reacting to the fear of becoming irrelevant after spending years fighting for acceptance within the royal family? Could Queen Camilla have genuinely believed that delaying change was the best way to protect King Charles III's legacy? Or did fear ultimately cloud judgment? Those questions remain at the heart of the debate. According to the narrative, the final symbolic shift occurred when senior royal figures increasingly aligned themselves with Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Princess, and whose alleged intervention had transformed the crisis, emerged as a central figure in securing stability. The future king reportedly gained stronger support from advisors. The Princess of Wales reportedly became an even more important symbol of continuity and renewal. By the end of the story, the focus was no longer on Queen Camilla's alleged efforts to resist change. The focus had become the future itself. Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, the next generation of royal leadership. And perhaps that is why this story continues to fascinate audiences. Beyond the intrigue, beyond the alleged investigations, and beyond the palace drama, lies a much larger question about the monarchy's future direction in an era of constant scrutiny and relentless public attention. As we reach the end of this remarkable narrative, one mystery remains unresolved. If these events unfolded exactly as described, was this ultimately a story about power, loyalty, survival, or legacy? Was Queen Camilla the architect of Queen Camilla's own downfall? Or was Queen Camilla simply the latest royal figure caught between personal survival and institutional change? And what does Prince William's rise tell us about the future of the royal family itself? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Queen Camilla acted out of a desire to protect influence? Or do you think Queen Camilla was motivated by fears that many people in a similar position would understand? And do you believe Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, represent the strongest path forward for the monarchy? If you enjoyed this deep dive into royal history, royal controversy, and the future of the British royal family, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next royal story. Thank you for watching, and be sure to stay with us for the next fascinating chapter, because in the world of royalty, the most important story is often the one that has not yet been told.